I'm sure you've heard it before. EUCs and OneWheels, there isn't one that's better than the other. They're just different. That's a lie. EUCs are way better, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. I know that was a very offensive statement to so many people, but I have good reasons for that. I'm not just popping off and I'm not a crazy person. I'm gonna give you logical, coherent reasons why you need to switch from a OneWheel to an electric unicycle. We are going to start with, in order, the lowest level reasons why you should switch from a OneWheel to an EUC, and then we're gonna be going all the way to the very top reason why you should switch to an EUC. Let's start with the very bottom reason. Modifications are encouraged with an EUC. Now, with OneWheels being made by one single company, they do not like it if you modify your wheel. What they'll do is that if you happen to put on some sort of special modification and then happen to have some issue with it later on, they're going to ask you to turn it in for warranty repairs. And then after that, once they realize that you've done some stuff, you've done surgery to your OneWheel, then you are out of luck. You may have to pay for the shipping to have it sent back, only to find out that nothing was ever even done with your OneWheel. Let's take a quick look at some pictures of some EUCs that have been modified to their heart's content, and the companies that make them have no problem with you doing this to them. The wheel that I personally own, the Begode Master Pro, is originally made with plastic battery boxes. Now, that's a pretty big issue that a lot of people didn't like, including myself. It's a structural defect. Rather than saying, hey, sorry, you're out of luck, you just got an older version, too bad, the company, Begode, actually sent out these metal battery boxes as a replacement and said, here, you do the work for this. You do the surgery on it. Enjoy, have fun. And this is a huge dollar value. This is not an unusual thing either. All these companies are doing a very similar thing. If there's an issue that comes up with like an earlier batch of their EUCs, the manufacturing company typically sends the buyers a kit for them to be able to perform surgery on their own wheel to fix the issues that was present in there. So you don't have to send your wheel to China to have them do an operation on it and then send it back to you. All right, the next reason we got is lighting. Now, lighting is a super important thing when you're riding at nighttime, and EUCs are no strangers to riding in the dark. Now, with an EUC, you typically have some LED headlights that are almost as bright as an automotive headlight. That's a really big deal. Furthermore, the rear tail light will light up similar to the way a car tail light will light up when you're braking. So the lighting on an EUC is so dramatically better than a OneWheel to make it so much safer to ride on the road compared to a OneWheel. Next, we've got portability. Now, EUCs are no strangers to being heavyweights. My personal EUC is over 120 pounds. That is way heavier than any OneWheel. However, EUCs are equipped with a trolley handle. Now, a trolley handle is something that you can use to just walk your EUC into the store, just pop it up, and then it just pushes itself right along. Then, if you ever need to just set it down for any reason, then on top of that, now modern EUCs are equipped with a kickstand. Kickstand is able to just set your wheel down and then just let it be without having to lay it down on the ground. If you need to take your OneWheel into a store, you're gonna have to lift it up and then throw it in a cart, and it's gonna be taking up a significant portion of your cart space. Alternatively, if you flip those pedals down, your EUC is able to hold your groceries if you want on there, or you can hang some bags right around the trolley handle. It's outstanding. You can take your EUC in wherever you're at, despite it being significantly heavier than a OneWheel. All right, the next reason to switch from a OneWheel to an EUC is brand choices. Now, with a OneWheel, what you've got is the original, you've got the pint, you've got the XR, and now you've got the GT. That's it. Now I realize that there are some aftermarket solutions where people have made their own version of a OneWheel that works just as good, if not better, or dramatically cheaper than a OneWheel that has better performance. And see, that's a fantastic thing, but that's kind of a one-off solution, and it's my understanding that Future Motion hates those companies and is in legal battles with them. So they're really trying to protect their patent if they even have one. Now with EUCs, there are 4 major brands that are all based in China that are all in competition for each other for the best EUCs. For EUCs, the top 4 brands are Begode, InMotion, Veteran, and Kingsong. Now, all of these companies have a wonderful reputation overall. They all are highly competitive with each other, and so they're all working as best they can to compete and make the best product possible for their customers. Compare that to Future Motion, which makes OneWheels, and the problem with that is that there is only one company. And this company, Future Motion, is trying to protect their perception of what their intellectual property is. And so there is only one company, and they do not want competition. If you think that you can come up with a product that's better than a OneWheel, but similar to it, good luck, because Future Motion's lawyers are going to be coming after you any day now. Now, the next reason why you should switch is the fun factor. Now, I know that the OneWheel is a great toy, and people are going to be really offended at the fact that I just called it a toy, but here's the thing. EUCs are so much more fun. Ask me how I know. I have done both. EUCs give you so much more excitement. It is a so much freer feeling to be able to just fly on the streets. There is so much adrenaline involved that is unreal compared to the OneWheel, which it's a very fun thing, but eventually the fun factor kind of wears off because you're getting injured so often. Now, I know that there are a lot of people that own EUCs and they own OneWheels, and they say that they have different adventures. They go on a adventure with their EUC, and then they go on an adventure with their OneWheel, and they just are different. But I'm just going to be honest, those people are wrong.
Wrong. That is absolutely wrong. Proved over and over again.
EUCs are more fun. It's a fact. Everybody knows it. Everybody agrees. It's tremendous. All right, next we have the warranty. Warranty is so much better on EUCs. Now, factory warranty for an EUC is not usually very good. Manufacturer warranty typically is something that expires in 3 or 6 months. However, with the American/Canadian vendors that sell EUCs, they have a much better warranty. A lot of retailers in the US and Canada have a bit of a no questions asked type of warranty. Now, that's like, if you happen to have an issue with this, you just have to send in a picture or a video describing your issue to show them what's going on. And oftentimes they'll just send you, usually in a priority sort of fashion, whatever parts you need to. Now, if you have an issue with your OneWheel, you're gonna have to send it over to Future Motion. Who knows how long it's gonna take for them to do the repairs, if they even repair it. If you happen to do any surgery or modifications after you've sent it to Future Motion, there's a strong chance they're just gonna be sending it back to you with no repairs, and you're gonna have to foot the bill for the shipping. After that, once you get it back, there's a strong chance that they could even update the firmware from an older version to something newer that's going to make it even harder, if not impossible, for you to modify your OneWheel. So it's an extremely locked down thing with a very limited warranty. I've just heard nothing but horror story after horror story after horror story of people using Future Motion for their warranty service, and it's just awful. Compare that to so many other retailers for EUCs that actually want your business. They actually want to help you out. I think we've beaten this dead horse enough. Let's move on to the next reason. But the next reason why you should switch is comfort. As any OneWheel owner knows, if they have their feet placed on the pads for too long, it's gonna be getting a bit crampy. Check this out with what you can do on an EUC if your feet get tired or cramped. With an EUC, you can very easily just shake out your foot if you've got a cramp, or even ride with one foot off of the wheel. Believe it or not, this is a very, very basic skill. This is something that every EUC owner is able to do, usually within the first week. The reason for this is because with an EUC, you have 2 points of contact at all times, minimum. You have 1 foot on a pedal and 1 foot on the side of the wheel. So you're able to release 1 foot, shake it out if you need to, and then switch to the other foot. Or if you want to, you can even just keep your feet on there and lift up a heel, lift up your foot, and just kind of twist your foot around if you need to, and then get out any sort of cramps. This is something that you cannot get in any way, shape, or form on a OneWheel. Also, you can sit down on an EUC. This is something you obviously can't do on a OneWheel. With an EUC that has a seat built in, you don't even have to pay any extra money, and you're able to go significant distances. And if you ever feel like your legs are getting tired, just take a seat. Now for the next reason why you need to switch from OneWheel to EUC is off-roading ability. With an EUC, you are indeed able to go through dirt and you're able to go over roots and rocks. With an EUC, you're able to absolutely fly through off-roading. With an EUC, you're able to go up dramatically steeper slopes without any sort of problem. Part of the reason why EUCs are so much better off-road is the suspension. The suspension is something that has been toyed around as a fun idea for a OneWheel, but has not ever come to fruition. Currently, that does not exist for a OneWheel. Now with an EUC, even without a suspension, you're able to just fly over things that would be definitely risking your life if you were on a OneWheel. I can easily go 30+ miles an hour on a dirt road or driveway with my EUC that has a suspension on it. That's something you simply cannot do. You can barely even hit 32 miles an hour with a VESC-enabled OneWheel. Recently, I took my EUC up into the mountains where I was on ATV and UTV trails. I was able to fly over jumps. I was able to go on single and double track trails that would be completely inaccessible to anyone that was riding a OneWheel. And I was able to do so much more and cover so much more ground and go so much faster, more safely, because I had an EUC. Now we're getting to the real top reasons here. Next, we've got value per dollar. I'm gonna be comparing the OneWheel GT to the Begode T4. Now, the price tag on this is pretty similar. The Begode T4 is cheaper than the OneWheel GT because oftentimes you don't have to pay shipping or tax on this. Typically, tax is included on an EUC purchase. So while you could be paying this much plus shipping and handling, taxes, etc., instead, you could be paying this price tag out the door. Now with the Begode T4, you're getting a wheel that has a suspension, something that you can sit down on, something that goes about 37 miles per hour, and then it has the ability to go much farther than a OneWheel GT could ever go on any good day. In the value department, EUCs are absolutely phenomenal compared to a OneWheel. Now for the number 2 reason why you need to be getting an EUC is speed.
I feel the need for speed.
With an EUC, you are able to go up to 55 miles an hour, and that's only in 2023. If you think it's a heart-pumping, exciting thing to be able to go 20 miles an hour on your OneWheel, just imagine going 50+ miles an hour on your EUC. There is no other feeling like it. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, how much does this ultra-fast EUC cost? Yes, it's going to be costing at least twice what a OneWheel GT costs. However, you're getting so much more value. Imagine if you just paid twice for a OneWheel GT, you would be getting 40 miles an hour tops, or you can pay twice that for an EUC and be able to go 50+ miles an hour.
Speed has never killed anyone. Suddenly becoming stationary, that's what gets you.
Now the number 1 tip-top reason why you should be getting an EUC instead of a OneWheel is safety. Now I'm going to say this now and I will continue saying it until OneWheels are no longer. OneWheels are a death trap. I used to have one, therefore I know this. I have gotten into 3 pretty bad crashes on my OneWheel, and while my OneWheel survived pretty well, I got pretty banged up pretty badly. I've nosedived twice, and for those that don't know what nosediving is, that is when you overpower your one wheel and it will start to tilt back on you, or push back is the one wheel term for it. And then as you continue to go along, if you continue to push through the pushback, it will just cut out and then you will die. Or you could just get hurt really badly. Now with an EUC, you have a few different things that are safety measures. Every EUC has a built-in beeper. If you are exceeding your wheel's limits, it will start beeping at you loudly to indicate that you are in the danger zone. Now, it varies from wheel to wheel, but generally it's about a 20% safety margin. So you are generally pretty safe if it starts beeping at you, as long as you don't ride the beeps and push through that. Most modern EUCs have dynamic tilt back. What is that, you may ask? Dynamic tilt back is a feature that is put into most EUCs where it's very similar to pushback. So if you're exceeding or getting close to the top level of your EUC's limits, it will start to tilt you back in a very similar fashion to pushback on a one wheel. Dynamic tilt back is a wonderful thing that you can also use as a speed limiter. You can put it in an app, say I want to have a maximum speed of 50 miles an hour. And then once the wheel has detected that you're going 50 miles an hour, it will start tilting you back, even if the wheel is capable of going 60 plus miles an hour. So for that reason, that is a massive safety feature that is just a huge thing in favor of EUCs. And we've discussed this before in terms of off-roading, but suspension is a massive safety feature that cannot be ignored. Having a suspension makes it so you're able to go over rocks and roots and other irregularities in the street, maybe a pothole, for example, and then not cut out. You're able to not just crash and burn and have massive injuries. Having a suspension can literally be a matter of life and death, especially if you're going 40 plus miles an hour on the road. Now, not every EUC has a suspension, but almost every modern one does in 2023. A suspension is put onto almost every modern EUC because it is a huge safety thing that increases your comfort level, it increases your safety level, and it just makes the ride so much more fun. You're able to go through trail rides with ease. You're able to go on the roads through potholes, over speed bumps with no problems whatsoever. This completes my list of the reasons why you need to switch from a one wheel to an EUC. And I realize that my perspective might be a bit one-sided, but it is factual and therefore I'm right. And if you disagree with me, then you're wrong. If you think that I'm wrong, tell me why in the comments. And of course, please like and subscribe. It makes me so much more motivated to push out content for you. Thank you for joining me.